or in an organizational environment is a lot of the standard tricks, tactics, and systems kind of fall by the wayside. And what I like to tell people is you want to look for those opportunities to get that time back. And my recommendation is to work through kind of a 3-step process. So you get in touch with your priorities. That's always the baseline of any time management, and getting your to-do list is getting the right things off of your to-do list. So you get in touch with your priorities as much as possible. Then you negotiate, and that's the toughest part in an organizational environment. That's where you tackle your distractions. And it's those distractions that make the taming of that to-do list so difficult, because you have a whole bunch of half-finished tasks. And then you move on to investing. And so one thing that I always recommend for people is when we start in that first step of prioritizing. A lot of people, when they come into the office, you know what you want to be tackling. You know what you're setting out to do. But lo and behold, at the end of the day, you look back and go, I didn't accomplish anything that I wanted to do today. And so the first thing about prioritization is to make your priorities your first priority. So you take the first 15 minutes of your day, close the door, tell your team that you're not available for 15 minutes. You're away at meetings, you're away at lunch. You're unavailable plenty of time during the day, and if it's an emergency, they'll come in and grab you. But take that first 15 minutes and get started on those things that you were thinking about when you were driving in or taking the train into the office.
That's great advice. But when you talk about distractions, what kind of distractions are you referring to?
Well, so it's the coworker who comes in, hey, can I get a hand with this? It's the employee that knocks on the door. It's the client, perhaps. I think that servant leadership is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of it, but it does require a little balance. So making somebody wait. Can I get back to you in 2 minutes? Can I get back to you in 5 minutes? Can I get back to you in 10 minutes? And finish what you're actually working on. There's an enormous amount of time that is missed and wasted during the day switching between tasks. Now, everybody that's out there is going, well, that's not going to work. Nobody likes to get put off. And I get it, because we've all been in that position where the boss tells us, hey, I need you to come back in 10 minutes, and then it's 30 minutes, and then it never happens.
Sure.
But if you actually follow up with those people, maybe you invite them to sit down. Hey, it's just going to be 2 minutes while I finish up this report, while I finish up this email, whatever it is that you're working on. Invite them to sit down and then get back to them. They won't have a problem with it. And so what you do is you actually get some of those items off of your to-do list, and you're actually able to manage some of that distraction that goes on. Just 1, 2, 3 times during the day can be huge as far as checking those things off.
That's great advice. You know, one of the things that I found very helpful is I just set aside my Fridays, and I don't do any meetings on Fridays. Are there any other tips like that that you can suggest?
Well, one thing that I do recommend is I love the Fridays. And I've been in organizations where they tried the no email Friday, and it was a complete disaster. But what I also recommend is scheduling some time, blocking it out, a half an hour mid-morning, a half an hour in the mid-afternoon, where nobody can book into your calendar. And I call that scheduling your emergencies, because you don't know what's going to happen once you get into the office. And that allows you that buffer time to tackle that or to get back in touch with your priorities. And hey, if nothing happens, there's always something else that you can fit in to that subset of time that can help out.
Well, that's great advice. I can't wait to try that out. Thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
Thanks, Amy. It was a pleasure.